Hi everyone, welcome to Cloudy Party Tea Time, the Disney Explosion Finals Part 3. This is where it gets real. It's your girl, Little Pie, with Princess I.
Hello, hello.
And Vampy.
Hi.
Yay, didn't crash.
Yes. We had technical difficulties earlier, so yeah, it sucked. I had to figure out what was wrong with it.
Well, it looks like we're all good now, so...
Yes!
Apparently it's the order in which we were introduced.
Yeah, I usually goes first, though.
No, usually Vampy goes first.
I just wanted to change up.
Yeah. Well, I'm okay with this.
Well.
So we shall do this! We can do it! And tonight is the final part, what everyone's probably been waiting for.
Oh, thank God.
Confessions of a cast member.
And we, among the cast, have someone who was a cast member at Walt Disney World.
Ooh,
big mysterious. But first, we are so very happy you guys listened to us yesterday. Because it got a little bit more energetic than normal, so yeah, it was wonderful.
Yeah, and we apologize for pretty much any political correctness fails on a certain cast member's part.
yeah. And yeah, if you were offended, we're sorry. We'll do better next time. This is a work in progress, like life.
Yeah, yes. Sorry about that, guys.
And hey, it's the 6th episode. We've actually had a failure in the very first failure we've ever had.
Oh, the fails of life.
So, to review, Disney
sucks.
Disney sucks, and we're sorry we ruined all of your childhood.
Just not a little really.
But here's the thing. Tonight, Confessions of a Cast Member, we advise you with small children who are listening, put the children to bed.
What the hell are they doing up at this point in time anyway?
Well, it depends on which coast you're on, obviously, because this is still early evening for me.
They still need to be in bed.
And keep in mind that these are actually views from someone who actually worked for the mouse.
You mean the mafia mouse? The pimp mouse? The mouse that owns the souls? Devil mouse.
Yes. So,
that's a stop
put the kitties... No. Put the kitties to bed. If you don't want your magic to be ruined, press the back button on your Firefox, on your Internet Fail Explorer, or your Google Chrome browser, or your Jungle Safari browser, whatever the heck they're calling it.
Safari.
Safari.
I mean,
I was trying to insult it. I haven't came up with a witty insult yet.
It's okay. At some point, you'll figure it out.
So if you guys have braved it and made it this far, we shall begin Confessions of a Cast Member. So, the member of the Tea Timers who was a cast member was me, Little Pie. And let me tell you, I got all excited when I got accepted to be a cast member. I was like, oh yeah, Disney! But when I got there, it was like they tease you. They tease you with the warm weather. Stepping off the plane in 90-degree weather in the middle of January was lovely. Walking through the airport with 3 Disney stores. 3!
Hold on.
Yes! And...
Yeah, just keep going, I think.
Yeah. And the fact that we actually... The only bad thing about it was, to get picked up from the airport, you had to have your own ride. Me, myself, didn't think to rent a car. I really didn't. Not that I needed it the whole time I was there, but When I got there, they had all the happy Disney music playing, the cool posters up of the characters playing like welcome. And let me tell you, I got sucked in. I was like, oh, this is going to be the most fun day ever. It's not. Mm-mm. I mean, sure, the first thing you do when you get there is you sign in. And they ask you your name. Of course, I told them my name. You guys aren't learning my name. I will not tell you guys this. But you sign in. You got your little magical schedule book of Disney goodness, ranging from where to go, where to eat, what to wear, a guide to the apartment map. I didn't even consult that for a couple of weeks.
Nice.
That was stupid.
And then you get these magical charter buses that you get on and take your luggage to your apartment.
Ooh, fancy.
Mm-hmm. There are actually 3 apartment complexes. You check in at Vista Way. That's the oldest one. Sponsored by Coca-Cola. The cheapest one. It's a nice place. I had a couple of people who I worked with who lived there, but it's known as Vista Lay.
Okay.
Because you could go apartment hopping to dates to make out or do the yum yum bouncy bouncy time. It's right there.
What?
That's
Any
a
guy
good
or
one.
girl, what have you. And then they were the only apartment complex with a hot tub. Never go in the hot tub.
Why?
We're PG. I cannot tell you.
We're not PG anything. We don't actually have a rating.
Yeah, and considering the amount I curse, I think it's safe to say we are solidly at the R status at this point.
Pretty much. I mean, between me and we swore a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, the hot tub is where they have super happy fun time.
So they have sex in the hot tub.
Yeah. Hey, I was trying to make it nicer, okay?
Well, it's
Sweetheart.
a hot tub. What do you expect?
And then there's Chatham Square. Colonial styled, very nice. It was actually pretty nice. Halfway expensive, kind of same price range as Vista Way, depending on how many people you had in your room. Patterson Court, woo woo, represent. That's where I lived. Nice place, huge pool. Everything was where it needed to be. 3 laundry rooms. I kind of got lost on my first day. Yeah. And you have roommates. The coolest, the realest people at Disney you'll ever meet.
If you don't hate them.
Hey, my roommates were cool. They were cool. They were real. They actually told you. Mind you, my roommates had seniority over me. They told me like it was. They told me everything to expect.
Ooh, do tell. I'm on my edge of my seat.
My roommate, when I first met her, I didn't meet her until later that night, but my other roommate said, "Oh, where are you going?" I'm like, "I gotta go to something casting." They started laughing. They was like, "Good luck." I'm like, "Okay." So I boarded the magical charter bus of magic, got back to Vista Way, boarded another charter bus of magic with a radio this time, yay, and we made our way through the Disney gates to casting. It was hidden among downtown Disney, a huge building that resembled a castle. It's not really a castle for tourists. So, the girl who was on the bus, who was our tour guide, told us, she was like, well, there's a rule at Disney for casting. You are not allowed to take pictures in certain areas. And, someone stupid on the bus asked why. And she was like, because Disney doesn't want to reveal their secrets. So, she was like, turn off all cameras, phones, what have you. And, yeah. The only thing we got to take a picture of was the doorknob outside, resembling the face from Alice in Wonderland. The doorknob from Alice in Wonderland, very nice. And we stepped into this huge building. And there was the hallway. It was a huge rotunda, I think that's what they call it? Rotunda. With the Disney characters on these high pillars, gold statues of each character. They even had Roger Rabbit still.
Ooh.
So I took pictures of those. We could take pictures in that area. But the rule was we had to wear, we were given these Mickey stickers. And those, well, some of us were. Some of us wasn't. So those who had Mickey stickers went with one group while the others didn't. And standing in line for casting was a chore.
I can imagine.
Indeed.
Mind you, some of the people who was there, they had, it was the only part on Disney property we could wear tennis shoes in.
Oh, wow.
What?
Mm-hmm.
You mean the only time you got to wear tennis shoes?
Except for my day off.
Oh, wow.
What the hell?
For property, no tennis shoes. No shirts with characters from a different animated series or something.
Well,
What sounds like some
shoes
fancy
did you
bullshit.
have to wear then?
Okay. I'm getting to that.
Okay.
But, okay, so after when we were in casting, we had to get fingerprinted by the cops.
Oh, shit.
Had to sign huge stacks of contracts. Confidentiality.
Oh, no.
Well, and we even had to give them our thumbprint. The only thing that was missing was assigning our names away in blood.
Are you sure
Yeah,
you
no
didn't
kidding.
do that along with your firstborn and your second?
No. When you work for the mouse, he owns you.
So that means he owns you, your kids, whatever your descendants are, they all become slaves of the mouse.
Yeah, basically. And you're thinking, you bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, you're like, oh yeah, Disney gonna be awesome. I'm a cast member. And so, when you get your assignment, they tell you what to expect. Where you're gonna go, what you're gonna do, where you're gonna be dispatched. Next part, the benefits of being a cast member. Free admission to every single park.
That
Awesome.
is a plus side.
Mm-hmm. Instead of paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars out to get into park, all you had to do was wave your cast member ID. Across the scanner. Wave it. Welcome. And, that was the coolest thing. On the day off, you go to Disney, you're like, oh, wait, I don't gotta follow these. I don't got, you're thinking like, out of my way, mortals. You do not own me. I am not one of you. Best thing, the lanyards we've got. Red lanyards with these white cards. You scan them. You got cuts in the lines for every attraction.
Yeah, those are beautiful, mind you.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. People glaring at you, hating on you. You can feel them glaring at the back of your head with that.
Like, you son of a bitch. I will murder you for your shit.
Then the cast member discount.
Ooh.
50% off.
Nice.
Damn.
Around Christmas time only.
Oh, hey, that's still, considering how much they
10%.
mark it up.
10% discounts every other time. They don't work in Epcot, though.
Ah. Downside.
I found that out the hard way.
How did you find? Oh, never mind.
Trust me, it was. They told us I was gonna buy a bunch of, and I bought some stuff from the Japanese store. And she was like, "Oh, the cast member discount doesn't work here, isn't it a drag?" I'm like, "Oh." So we cast members don't escape it. We don't escape it. The other benefit, we have our own special area for recreation. No one knows about this, so I'm risking it here. It's called, let me get it right, because it's awesome, because, they have a beach, badminton, tennis, a whole bunch of different stuff. And it's fun. Private place. And, it's fun because it's right across from Chatham Square. I forgot the name of it, but I'll remember it later. I'll Google search it, but I'll remember it later. It was a maze. I actually went there 3 times to swim in the pool.
Nice.
Then, of course, you have transportation. You don't got to waste gas. You have your own line of Disney buses.
Awesome.
You just had to have your housing ID. That was it. Flashed it. It's like, oh, you're a cast member. Welcome. You get on the bus. They take you to the mall, Walmart, to the parks, to the hotels, anywhere you want. As long as it's around Disney property or something. Then, the best thing was, everyone in Florida knew you were a cast member when you got off that bus. So, everybody's like, oh, it's a Disney cast member. Nice. You feel all happy and proud. Downside, we shall get to this. I don't want to scare anyone. The lies fed to you during training.
Oh, God.
Ooh, this sounds juicy.
So, you're probably thinking, after your whole whirlwind day of fun, you get there, you relax, you have days to explore the city, find out where you're going to go, meet new friends, hang out with them. When you go to training, a.k.a. traditions, Disney traditions.
Tradition.
You board the magical charter bus that magically reappeared. And you get on the bus, you meet some people. You get taken through Disney Park. You're thinking, oh, we're going back to the casting building. No. They take you down this long road behind the Magic Kingdom. It's not magical. Disney has its own textile company.
You say that like you're surprised.
I know.
It has its big black smoke blowing out of the factory. You have Mickey's face plastered everywhere, too, of course. It's Disney.
Yeah.
And they take you to the place called Disney University. It's not a real college, just so you know. It's not a real university. So you go in. It's a nice building. They have, like, artifacts. The characters hanging from the ceiling. It's cool looking. You got the Disney Secret Service in one area, too. But when you get there, you stand in line. You wait. You see the pictures on the walls, the Walt Disney movies, scenes. You're like, oh, that's so cool. Then you get up there and ask you your name. You tell them your name. You receive a book and your magical pass, the blue pass of goodness. If you lose that, you're out of luck, basically. The magical pass of goodness that ranges from, it has all of your information on it. It's an electronic card of magic. And you go in. You sit at a table and you listen to them talk. You listen to them talk about stuff. Like, oh, this training. Then they show you video after video after video. My most hated Disney training video was Safety Begins With Me. Not safety. Safety.
Oh, God.
Disney.
Oh, God.
And they repeated it over and over again in different languages every 5 minutes. Safety begins with me. Safety begins with me. Whatever language, Spanish, safety begins with me. Click, 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 click. Begins with me. So, yeah, you got that. Then the video, they tell you, then they play you this, like, everybody's like, oh, they take you to the Magic Kingdom next to tour it. You have to take off your little paper name tag they give you, and you have to walk through the park in your professional clothing. We girls wear ballet flats.
Oh, ouch.
Oh.
It was a pain. They take you under the castle where every cast member gets distributed. You feel disappointed. You're like, the magic's gone. It's messy under the castle, basically.
Well, it is a castle. Castles aren't really traditionally clean anyway.
And when you go outside, if you're lucky enough to see a parade, it's amazing. You get to be up close and see them. But then you go through, they talk. You don't get to do rides that suck. And they take you under the castle again, take you back to the little room. You take a break for lunch. They don't supply lunch for you. You have to buy it yourself.
Oh, no.
Asshole.
Or bring it. Yeah.
Yeah, really.
So, after lunch, you're all full and happy. You play a few games and win a few Disney prizes. Yay! My team won. I named every single Disney character I knew. 50 of them, okay? 50.
Nice.
That is amazing.
You win a prize. Then you hear a knock at the door. Wait, did I do it right? You hear a knock at the door. And you're thinking like, okay, here comes somebody from security. No, it's the big cheese himself, Mickey Mouse.
Did he smell like cheese? Very smelly cheese.
No. Mickey's straight up in there looking all nice, happy. He's happy. He has a big box, right? And they're like, oh, Mickey, do you want to help us assist with this game? Mickey nods. So you play the game with them. Then, you get the prize for Mickey and a hug.
Aww.
Or a fist bump. Mickey's awesome with fist bumps. So then, afterwards, they say, oh, so what's in the box, Mickey? And, like, he pantomimes and shakes the box, and you hear the rattling. I'm like, oh, it's name tag, so you need to take it with you and put extra pixie dust on it. So he nods. Mickey leaves. Back to the training videos. So, the last video before you receive your magical name tag is, they have this video with the song called The Time of Your Life, this geeked up rock song.
Oh,
They show all the companies Disney owns. And, everybody up in there start cheering about the different shows. And, after that, you get presented your name tag. And you're officially a cast member in Mickey's Magical Conglomerate. Yeah, not pretty.
Oh, dear.
So,
there goes your soul.
Yeah, basically.
So then, you begin your training 2 days after this whole initiation into the magical world of the mouse. And you get to your perks. You have to go through the area. I'm so lucky I got to work in Hollywood studios. Best place to work, mind you. Not the many crowds. Every now and then we get tour groups. I freaking hated it. But, it was fine. The tour groups, during the training, they take you through the park. This time you get to go on some rides. Tower of Terror, mind you, whatever ride, whatever you're working at or whatever. Then they take you into this building, and you have to take a written test.
What?
Yeah. A written test.
About
and then,
what?
I really can't remember what it was. I passed it, though, but
What,
Sounds like a
you can
nightmare.
speak
Then, the funny thing was, they give you the paper, and it has a picture of what you're going to have to wear. Your uniforms. Oh, excuse me. Costume. We'll cover that in the fancy titles. And, you're thinking, like, some of the people like, oh, man, my uniform's cool. Other people like, oh, this suck. Other people like, eh. Me, I was all excited. Because I'm like, oh, mine is so cute. I get to wear an apron like Belle. And I'm not too crazy about the hat, but that's okay. So, happy. You get, they send you off. Afterwards, they send you the costuming to get your costume. It's a chore to do. It's like a giant shopping center in there, in the costuming. They have different sections for different areas. I was ticked off when I found out about some of the other costumes. That's kind of what started me hating mine. Mind you, best attraction to do, if you want to wear a lab coat, is Muppet Vision 3D. They get to wear lab coats.
Nice.
And they don't have any rule about the hair. And Tower of Terror, they get to wear bellhop uniforms. Theirs are cool.
Yeah. Although those things would probably be really warm, not gonna lie.
Well, they have short sleeve versions, too.
True.
And if you are working in the Great Movie Ride, and I will say this because I wanted to do it so badly, too, you get to be a gangster during that ride.
Nice.
You get to be a gangster, a mobster from the 1920s.
Epic.
I mean, it was cool. And some of the uniforms were like fancy, fancy stuff. That was table service. I got stuck with quick service. It sucked. So, after training, and you get your costume, you have to start the training on the job. It was hell. And mind you, you don't let any of the other cast members who's been there for a while trick you. I got tricked by a couple of guys. Because, I kind of should have paid attention to it. They're like, oh, well, the girls do the fryers too. I'm like, uh-huh. So, yeah, where are they? Nope. No, we don't. But the cool thing was, we had our own private break room where we could talk. And we got to talk to the other people who used the same area. Like, I befriended a lot of people who did the Jedi Training Academy.
Cool.
Those were my buddies. I saw them every day. I'm like, what up? And, we talked for a while. I was friends with Darth Vader and Darth Maul.
Nice.
I was friends with Stormtroopers. I was friends with Obi-Wan Kenobi, for goodness sake. We talked. We made fun of Mickey. We spent our time laughing during breaks.
You made fun
and you
of
got
Mouse? Oh.
Yeah?
Mr. Mouse may come and beat you. What are you doing, girl?
You even got to see some of the people who were like in the Pixar parades and stuff. You got to see them behind the scenes before they put on their costumes to dance and party. However, one of the floats freaked me the heck out.
Mm-hmm.
It was Heimlich from A Bug's Life. He's an animatronic. And when he's not on dancing, he looks creepy. He looks dead.
Oh, jeez.
So, I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, poor thing. Then it started dancing. Oh, geez. That was cool. The worst thing was, during training, they didn't prepare us for this. And I hate they didn't. The tour group.
Oh, boy.
First time dealing with them, I went to the break room and screamed. I literally screamed. They heard me outside. They heard me outside when they were doing the training academy, mind you. They stopped for a couple of seconds. They were like, okay, what was that? So, yeah, tour groups, during training, they don't prepare you for that. They don't prepare you for rude customers. They don't prepare you for messy people who leave their tables in a mess and don't know how to clean up.
Breathe.
Oh, God.
They don't prepare you for the Disney snitches.
Oh, there's one at every job.
Yep.
And it was the old people. They didn't like us. They didn't like us CPs, basically. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, I was talking about the discount earlier. It isn't worth the plastic it's encoded on. The magical blue ID with Mickey's picture on it, on the top. Mickey standing on top of it over your name. It's not worth the encoded. It's only specific times you can actually have the discount. Like the 50% Christmas time, Thanksgiving, what have you. It ends in January. You don't get one on Halloween. You have this 10% discount you carry around with you all the freaking time. In certain areas you can't use it in. Epcot? No, you can't. Animal Kingdom? I didn't set foot in that area, but my roommate told me, because she worked at Animal Kingdom, she said it didn't work. So, yeah, the discounts, don't rely on them often. Just specific times, you get all geeked, they prepare you, they like, you get all excited. You're like, oh man, this is going to be awesome. Not awesome. Not awesome at all. But I wish they would have had the discounts more because they don't pay us jack squat. That's the next topic. Epcot. Every paycheck comes on Thursday. Every week. A paycheck on Thursday. But no. They get you excited because you get the big check from training. Big check. $300. Or what have you, depending on where you're working. You're like, oh man, this is going to be nice. Next week, it turns into, why am I working here? Okay, like, you get taxed for everything. Costuming tax.
Ooh.
Florida tax. Social Security tax. Mickey owns your soul tax. Tax for breathing. Tax for eating. Mind you, the last year I was exaggerating, but they might as well put that on there. It's not a drop in the bucket for you. You're like, why? That's why so many people have second jobs outside of Disney. Or the whole little utilizing the cast member thing where you can take on another job at Disney as long as you on your days off. Disney wants your soul, your attention. They never close. They stay open 24 hours a day. 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So, it's like, why are they doing this to us? If you're not part of the union, you can't complain. They can easily replace you.
Basically.
There's a union there?
Yeah.
Ever considered it?
We can't join it. CPs couldn't join it.
Oh. Because I know.
Because
I know that would have been my first stop.
Yeah.
Disney has its own medical clinic on property, and that's behind Epcot. So you have to go across. You have to run across, dodge traffic, because you don't get dropped off there unless you have a car.
Damn.
It was fun dodging traffic, but yeah, don't expect to make a lot at Disney. They don't pay you enough unless you're their magical workers who've been there for 50 plus years. And yeah, it's up. Now, the fancy titles, you're suddenly a cast member of Disney's magical family. You know, it's like, oh, so I'm not a worker, I'm not an employee, I'm a cast member. You still work for the mouse. He'd be whipping you himself. Ho-ho! Ho-ho!
You need to work harder.
Oh my
Exactly.
God.
You know, cracking a whip. All the while, Goofy and Donald cracking up at you.
You see that, Donald?
Yeah, basically, cast member is just a fancy title for mouse's slave.
Oh God.
You're not getting any water now, bitch.
Uh-huh. Mickey. His face is plastered everywhere. He's watching you.
Oh, I
He is
see
watching
you.
you.
Oh, I see you.
Even in bathrooms.
I see you peeing. Oh.
Mickey is everywhere. Mickey's just everywhere. You're like, ooh, why? Why are you here?
Is Mickey like another god or something?
It's like, all of a sudden, you know, you start seeing Mickey ears everywhere.
Oh God.
You start peeking around corners, trying to see if he's around. You start becoming a ninja, you know, while you're eating your lunch. You eat your lunch in record time to get back to work.
Wow. It sounds like Escape from Disneyland, more like it. Disney World.
Yeah.
Disney
Really.
World. You know, Mickey. Ho-ho! You're not working! Ho-ho! You're fired! Ho-ho!
So who wants to work for Disney now?
Yeah, right.
Now, mind you, the worst thing was, some of the other workers be like, there are certain places you don't want to work. Epcot, you okay? They close at a reasonable time. Animal Kingdom, they close at 4 in the afternoon. You'll be home around 5. Hollywood Studios close at 7:30 on certain days. The other days it's 9:30, what have you, whatever. Oh my God, I hate Hollywood Studios so much. Well, I did like it, but you know, the time we had to get off.
Yeah.
Magic Kingdom, aka Tragic Kingdom.
Oh God.
2 in the freaking morning.
Ooh.
Serious?
It had to be back up at 6 in the morning.
Oh my. Jeez.
That's brutal.
I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
Not when you work for the mouse.
That should be illegal.
Yeah, labor laws.
And Disney has its own Secret Service.
What the
God.
Mm-hmm.
Is Disney like its own little communist world?
Pretty much, from the sounds
Yeah,
of it.
pretty much. You know, Secret Service, Disney Secret Service, you do anything, they come rolling up, they catch you. You know, I was working one day, some dude stole something from a stand. I see him run past, I'm like, okay, must be someone excited to go to something. I see these 5 cops chasing him, 5. I'm like, Disney has Secret Service, oh my God.
Jeez.
So it's like, yeah, Secret Service. Disney has those.
Woohoo!
And their Secret Service building is over in Disney University. 10 surveillance screens. 10. Count them, 10.
Jesus.
Wow.
And they sit there, watch you. Everything you do.
There's no escape.
There's no escape from the mouse. The mouse is all.
Exactly.
The mouse is everywhere.
Mickey
Oh God.
is a jerk. Basically, he's a jerk. Then,
Satan.
worst case scenario, you actually see them everywhere you go. They even have a Mickey dressed up in a cop uniform.
Good God.
Yeah. So Mickey is the police too.
It sounds like Fun World from Bebe's Kids.
Uh-huh. The only satisfaction you get out of Disney if you work in certain areas, Hollywood Studios, and they told us this, it's this Mickey Mouse sitting on top of the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a lightning rod. He's got instructed 10 times. Been put up. So you can pray for a lightning storm. All of a sudden, doom! Ho-ho! And the cast member, take that, you cheese-eating mouse!
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Zeus is still angry about Hercules.
Mm-hmm. And mind you, we had a cast member climb a building because they just snapped. They snapped. That was it. Well, it took 4 cops to bring him down, but still.
Wow.
Wow.
And they drug him away. We didn't see him after that. He's gone.
So
We don't know.
So he lost his mind?
Yeah. At Disney, you have to smile every day.
Oh, God.
You have to be polite to cast members. Well, not cast members, guests. They're called guests, not customers.
Yeah.
You have to, oh my dear sweet God, you have to respect the senior cast members too.
This sounds like hell.
Mm-hmm. Only place for young guys to smile is Tower of Terror.
Well, yeah, because it's supposed to be freaking creepy.
Uh-huh. They had a blast on Tower of Terror.
I bet.
Yeah.
I knew a bunch of people who worked it. I see them every day. I'm like, why aren't you? You know, I'm like, they be coming out all happy. I'd be like, what attraction you on again? They said Tower of Terror. I'm like, and you didn't have, your mouth isn't hurting? They were like, no. So, guess who wanted to transfer to Tower of Terror?
Oh, God.
Mind you, the best thing was the girls got to wear skirts. I was stuck in pants half the time.
In Florida.
She loves-
Ouch.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
And, you know, there was a way you could get around the whole little wearing pants rule if it was religious thing. And you had to present it towards a bunch of board of directors and stuff.
Oh, God.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody got time for that. And the Disney shoes they gave you, they sucked. They fell apart after 3 weeks.
Ooh.
Damn.
Yikes.
And they were free.
Oh, God.
Made from recycled materials, yeah.
Mm. Yeah, they're
And they-
stitched together recycled materials from the sounds of it.
Mm-hmm. And they hurt like heck.
Ow.
Worst thing, it's like you put them on, you get excited, oh man, these are awesome. Couple hours, you're like, I hate these shoes. I hate these shoes. And they have an imprinted Mickey on the bottom of the shoe, too.
Of course.
And, you know, the kids who are at the parks, they're sweet little things, sweet little angels. I can't tell you how much satisfaction I got out of watching a kid kick Mickey in the butt.
That sounds amazing.
I'm just like, you know, working. Mickey come over to where our restaurant is. He waves. 5 or 6 kids bum rush him.
Oh, God.
You know, I stop. Mind you, I have a tray of a tray. I'm holding 3 trays in my hand, in both my hands, and you know, I see him get bum rushed. Guess who dropped all of it and started cracking up?
Oh, no.
I mean, everybody who was working with me, you know, we started laughing.
Yeah.
And, you know, they were like, don't just stand there, help him. Yeah, I did help him. After I got a couple of kicks in, but yeah. But, yeah, Mickey, he was okay. Then the Pixar Parade passed by. We used to have this one Woody. He used to come, you know, Woody?
Mm-hmm.
He used to be on his float, breaking it down, dancing, you know.
Yeah.
What we used to do? Yeah, shake it, Woody. He actually did pole dance.
That's awesome.
You know, we mind you, we knew the guy. We knew the guy in the costume.
Yeah.
So he passed by. He expected us to yell that for him.
That's awesome.
Mind you, he was also Aladdin in one of the parades, too.
Oh, nice.
And Prince Naveen. So, character actor. He was magical.
Yeah, for real.
So, after work, and this day, I was so mad, because I'm like, I'm like, okay, it's these people on the bus. They weren't wearing costumes. I'm like thinking, they were cast members on the day off. They told me, they were talking, I was listening, and I was like, what attraction do you guys work at? They was like, oh, we're Green Army men. I was like, really? And it was a girl, too. I'm like, wait, there's a female Green Army dude? She said, yeah. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, all we do is stand around all day and stay still and scare people. I'm like, oh, man, that's a dream right there. You know how amazing it would be? They only come out, they get paid more, but they only come out at specific times and not in the hot costumes.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
We workers, we're slaves.
Oh.
But it's fine. There was one thing I did want to transfer to. It was the Beaches and Creams place. They wore Sailor uniforms. Mind you, the whole Sailor Moon mentality hit me.
Yeah, of course.
Sailor uniform. I'm like, where can I sign up? I couldn't transfer. I tried transferring. Tower of Terror. Tried it. Magic Kingdom, I got rid of that quick after I found out when they got off.
Yeah.
I was like, screw that. I'm not staying that late. Beaches and Cream. I wanted that. I actually got that before I got hurt. So I was like, before I got hurt, I was going to transfer that week.
Oh, what
I
happened?
was. Men in Disney World are not chivalrous enough to help a girl when she's carrying 5 or 6 boxes.
Oh,
Nice.
ouch.
Yeah. And I actually did yell chivalry is dead when I fell.
Oh, jeez. Ow. I feel your pain. I'm sorry.
And mind you, everybody everybody there, it was horrible. It was just bad. It was, I don't know. The customers, they were sweet as pie. They were sweet. They saw me. I had this one dude. I love telling this story because it's one of my favorites. I worked the counter. It was this one day I was working the counter all day, right?
Yeah.
My feet weren't hurting because, I was ignoring them. Like, okay, I'm just going to ignore it and have fun. And it was the last time when we were closing. This dude came in. He was waiting for his food he bought. So, he got this red tray called a magic tray, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking. I saw it. I said, oh, you got a magic tray. So what's that mean? I said, free dessert. So, me and him started joking around. He was like, I named off the stuff he wanted. Strawberry shortcake, cheesecake, chocolate mousse, or I didn't know we could give them away. I'm so happy I found out. The Mickey cupcakes. They were chocolate.
Nice.
And, I was talking to him. He was like, oh, well, I'll have a cheesecake. I'm like, now, when I give you this cheesecake, you better not come back over here requesting the change for a chocolate cupcake. He was like, he thought about it for a minute. He said, okay, I'll take the cheesecake. You know me. He's I'll take the cupcake. You know me so well. So I was like, what's good? I was like, what's good? He was like, what's good? I was like, what's really good? And, we fist bumped. I was like, pound it. He pounded it. So, he left. That was one of my favorite things because we was having fun with that. Mind you, commendations for that because, I was having fun. And, they loved me when I worked behind the counter because I was a crazy one, okay?
Yeah. Well, gee, no shit.
I was acting crazy. I started singing supercalifragilisticexpialidocious one day. I did. Mind you, a whole line of people waiting for their food started singing with me.
Nice.
Yeah. Then, the worst thing I actually said, and it was terrible that I did, because I was like, it was around the time, it was the day we were closing, and I had to do closing. I hated closing, right? So, I went backstage, about to leave, and I had to take out the trash, right? The bag burst all over me and my costume.
Oh, no.
Worst thing ever. Walked back in. My friend, who I call Pixie, she was waiting for me, right? She was like, what happened? I'm like, the trash burst over me. She said, okay. She said, we'll handle this. I hated it because, I didn't bring, that was the one day. And I'm so mad at myself. The one day I didn't bring extra clothes to change into.
Oh, no.
Because they had showers on property. I was going to be like, okay. I was thinking, at first, I was like, I said I can go, I can go to the locker, get my, change out of this, put on my regular civilian clothes. Because me and Pixie were supposed to go back to Hollywood Studios for, that night after we changed out our costumes. But I kind of forgot my clothes. And, I was thinking, I would say, okay, I can change. I'll shower, change, and then we can go. Went to the locker. Pixie forgot her clothes, too, so she was ticked. So, she asked me, she said, do you got your stuff with you? She's like, I can run and get mine and we can meet up again. I said, yeah, give me a minute. Open my locker. I said, my clothes aren't in here. Let's just say, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious with supercalifragilistic, fuck this.
Oh.
I actually didn't yell that. And everybody started cracking up because there's I'm the happy-go-lucky. Everybody who worked there kind of knew me as the happy girl who skipped through the gates on to work and clocked in all happy, right? There was she finally snapped. And, everybody was like, she snapped. The Disney magic has worn off on her. I'm like, I looked at them, I said, you're darn right it did. And I did kick a Mickey standee. I actually did. I was mad, that mad. Bus ride home was not pleasant.
Yeah.
Everybody, it seemed like the day when everybody's clothes was ruined.
Oh, God.
Oh, wow.
So, everybody on the bus was mad. I can't tell you. I thought I saw a girl holding a Mickey plushie putting pins in them.
Oh, my God.
Got off the bus. Everybody who knew us, the Hollywood Studios bus, we usually be the party bus, right? All excited and geeked.
Yeah.
The bus stopped. Everybody who was standing there waiting for their bus saw us step off, and we just walked past them. Somebody was like, what happened? And we just glared at them and walked and kept walking.
Oh, my God.
My roommate, I feel bad. My roommate, I came in. She said, hey, how'd it go? I looked at her. I'm like, I didn't say anything. I just shook my head. She was like, what happened to your clothes? I shook my head. It took me 3 hours she got me to speak finally after 3 hours, and I told her.
Oh, God.
And she was like, don't feel bad. She showed me her costume. And mind you, her whole uniform was white.
Oh, God.
She did custodial. They had to wear white, all white.
Oh.
She showed it to me. I was like, you too? She was like, yep. I was like, what happened? She was like, the Jeeps from the Kilimanjaro ride splashed me with mud.
Dang.
I was like, you had to be like, she was like, it was right before I was leaving. I'm like, same thing here.
Oh, God.
Then, we talked because we were mad.
Oh, God.
And mind you, my roommate, I loved her to death. She crazy. She was crazy. She warned me. She warned me a week ago, the week before. She was like, some Disney magic gonna wear off on you. I'm like, no, it's not. I love Disney too much. She asked me that day. She was like, so, still love Disney? I'm like, I hate that mouse. That's all I said. She was like, you and me both. I hate him too. And, every time I went in and saw a Mickey Merrill, Mickey Sandy, Mickey something, I'd punch it.
Oh, God.
I hurt my hand a couple of times when I punched the Merrill.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
And, best thing, Disney, apparently, the whole fancy title for uniforms,
Yeah.
costumes, they're not costumes, because a lot of us girls, we're girls, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have to have our hair tied back.
Oh, okay.
Me, Pixie, what's her name? I called her Florida. I called her Florida. Don't ask why. I just called her Florida.
No worries.
Me, Pixie, Florida. Real life Haru-chan, because I had a co-worker who looked just like Haruhi from Oran.
Nice.
And Party Boy, because he lived in Vista Way. He was younger than us, so I called him Party Boy. And, we were talking, and, the boys, we came in. we girls had our hair pent up with these pretty ribbons in our hair, right? Guess what we were told?
Couldn't wear it?
Remove our ribbons because it distracted from our costumes.
Wow.
What?
Okay.
And you know what me, Pixie, Florida, and real life Haruchan said?
What?
We were like, we just looked at each other after they left, and we started cracking up. You know, I said, oh my God, did you just hear that? Pixie was like, oh my gosh, we should keep them in. I'm like, no, we'll get, real life Haruchan said, no, we'll get fired. And like, Florida said, man, I can't believe, she said, I can't believe it. I think our hair looks better than our costumes.
Yeah, really.
And, Party Boy, he came up in there. I loved him to death. He did a backflip. And, everybody was like, oh, that's dangerous. Remember, safety begins with me. We didn't, he looked at him. He was like, uh-huh. When they turned him back, he was like, save these nuts. I started crying. I heard him, and, I was I was coming out, I was going into the freezer. And, when he said that, I walked in, shut the freezer door behind me. All you heard was my laughter.
Nice.
And then I came out. And then I love some of the guys who you work with. They're the best friends on property you could have, too.
Nice.
This one dude with the glasses, I loved him to death. He was so funny. This tall Caucasian boy, right? He was like, he was restocking the freezer, and I was standing there, talking to him. Because I didn't have nothing else to do that day, and, I didn't have nothing else to do. And, I was just standing there talking to him, and then he was putting out the cupcakes. And it was a cheerleader competition around this time, right?
Oh, God.
And, me and him, he was like, I find it mighty funny you're bringing out these cupcakes with all these cheerleaders here. This may be the first meal they had in weeks.
Oh, my God.
I was drinking. They give us free soda, and that was kind of the cool thing. And I had my soda, and, when he said that, I choked on it. And, I was like, I started laughing. Our coordinator walked past, and he was like, he heard him. He was like, that was uncalled for. He was like, I speak the truth. And them cupcakes were gone in an instant. Them cheerleaders ordered, that was the only thing they ordered was them cupcakes and water. Yeah, poor cheerleaders. They didn't eat.
Poor thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really.
And poor Disney. I feel bad for some of the older cast members. This nice lady from Brazil, she trained me. She was such a sweetheart. I loved her to death. And me and her, we'd sit around and be snarky together.
Nice.
She was 80 years old. Old lady. But, she looked like she was in her 50s and stuff. And, me and her was just sitting there talking one day when she was training me. And she was like, yeah, you see some of these people here. She's like, I bet you 9 out of 10 of them will order the wine and the beer. I'm like, why? She's like, because when you're in Disney and you have children, you get stressed and you need a drink. She was right. I started cracking up. I was like, you were right. She said, yes, I was. She was like, yes, I told you. I've been watching them since I've been here. And I was like, how long have you been here? She was like, when did the park first open? I'm like, dang.
Wow.
And then the Disney Stitch, it was this one old lady. She tried to get my trainer fired a bunch of times.
Oh, jeez.
Talk about power play.
Yeah, really.
She didn't get fired. The one who was working the cash register, she got relocated somewhere else in the park. But yeah, it was like, my trainer, she was real. The older people are nice. The Chinese lady we had, I didn't know it was a chick until I realized the uniform. Yeah, I'm an idiot. And she hung with us too. She joked around. And we were standing there, me, Pixie, Real Life Haru-chan, and Florida. We were standing around the soda area drinking soda because, it was just, we were bored. We had to re-energize. And she walked past, she said, parking lot is over there, girls. She actually said it with the Asian accent. It was cute. And, we looked at her, we started cracking up, and she started laughing at us. And then she was like, she actually knew where to hit the cameras at. She was awesome for that.
Nice.
Because she told us, she was like, well, if you stand around like that, she said, if you stand around like this, they deduct your pay. And I'm like, how do they know we stand around like this? She's like, you see that camera up there? I'm like, we looked up, we was like, oh, we scattered. We did.
Oh, God.
Scattered, because it was like, you know, she pointed it out to us. It's one in the freezer, too. It's cleverly disguised behind a Mickey clock.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And, yeah, that was just Disney's evil, basically. Living on property or living off, which you guys should know. All right. This is a biggie. I kind of wish I would have lived off property, but I'm like, I probably wouldn't have survived as long as I did. Because living on property, you have to pay rent. They take it out your paycheck.
Yeah.
Damn. You already don't got much to begin with.
Yeah, really.
I kind of didn't know this when I was there, but Patterson Court costs $91 a week. Not a month, a week.
Damn.
Disney bleeds you dry while you're working for them.
Yeesh.
Vista Way was cheaper. I kind of wish I would have got Vista Way, but the whole little Vista Way rumors freaked me out. And if you did want to move, you had to pay $100.
Seriously?
Yep.
Jeez.
And Disney came in when you were gone.
What?
Wow.
They could come in. They had a key to everyone's apartment. They could come in, look around, mess with your stuff, just do everything to find you to get fired from, basically.
Wow.
How do you live? This is communist state.
Yeah, really.
And if one of your roommates move out, they change the locks on you.
Shit.
They change the locks on everyone in the room if you're not there when they tell you. They change the locks. They have inspections. There's a certain way you got to make your bed. A certain way your closet's got to be arranged. A certain way your bed has, everything has to be done. They go through your trash.
Wow.
Yeah. Disney don't play.
Disney is basically military without being military, and a communist party rolled into one.
Uh-huh.
Basically.
Worst kind of communist party at that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My roommate and I, our room was spotless.
Nice.
We did come home to our computers being in a different place than where we put them. So,
Wow.
both of us had password-protected computers. So,
Good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they put the password in, feel safe. Feel safe. And mind you, mine insulted you in Japanese.
Nice.
Very.
So, my goodness, it was just terrible. They're living on there is nice. The international people, you get to see them. I had a couple of people who were from France. They were cool. They were real. They were the realest people, the people from France, because they were just made of wind.
Nice.
I had a couple of people from Japan. I talked to them. I had a couple of people from different countries, Haitian, what have you, any other country. We hung out. We went to the Magic Kingdom together. That was awesome. But they told us, they're like, well, our apartment is more than yours. I'm like, what? It was like $101 a week. I'm like, really? They was like, yep. I'm like, you guys don't have anything afterwards. We're like, nope. I'm like, where do you guys work at? Epcot. That's where they put the international people. Epcot.
Oh, yes. Don't you know it's a small world after all?
Oh, my God.
My French friend, he told me he hated it. He said, yeah, I'm stuck in France. I was like, then he was like, what did you apply for? He was like, PhotoPass photographer. I'm like, oh, you poor baby. And I was like, how did they find out you were from France? He was like, well, of course my application. I'm like, but what if you were an American living in France? He was like, I also spoke French. I'm like, I just sat there and said, you idiot. I was thinking that in my head. I'm like, you idiot. He got put in France. The Haitians, they got put in Animal Kingdom, or some of them did Custodio. Or other things, I don't remember. But I had a couple of Haitian friends. They told me, they was like, yeah, suck. I'm like, they were like, you are lucky you didn't say you were from a different country. I'm like, but it would have been fun to work in Epcot. My dear Asian friend was like, no, it's not. I started cracking up. I'm like, really? I was like, yeah, I stay in the Epcot, Japan all day long. I'm like, why didn't you go to China? He was like, I'm from Japan. I know Japanese. I'm like, oh, yeah, you speak Japanese. You know, I'm like, that's your first language. I was like, yeah. I'm like, oh, you poor baby. So, Epcot, from a different country, that's where you get placed. Or Animal Kingdom, if you're African.
Oh, God, thanks for a stereotype, Disney. You are just so wonderful. You and your
Epcot,
so...
Africa, too, I forgot.
You are so, so unoffensive. With sarcasm.
And the benefit about Disney was you got to see celebrities. I got to talk to Robin Williams.
Okay, nice.
Okay, I didn't recognize who he was at first. I was like cleaning, and I saw him. I was like, no, that's not Robin Williams. Walked over. You know, I was like, are you Robin Williams? His face paled. He looked around. He was like, don't tell anyone. I'm like, okay. So I helped Robin Williams out. He is cool. Johnny Depp walks around as Captain Jack Sparrow.
Nice.
Everyone, like, they say you don't recognize it's him unless you talk to him. But he's Captain Jack.
Yeah.
He be there every other week. In Animal Kingdom, and my roommate told me this, because I started cracking up when she told me, his mom started this thing that we do now. Toby Keith.
What?
Was in Animal Kingdom. Toby Keith.
Oh, nice.
Toby Keith wants to hunt.
Okay.
Yeah. Toby Keith wants to hunt, right?
Yeah.
And my roommate told me. And I told her, I said, don't Toby Keith want to hunt? She was like, yeah, but he can't hunt on Disney property. And, you know, I was like, okay. The best thing we did, I said, you know what? We need something to know that that we're around each other. She was like, what do you have in mind? I said, Toby Keith. She was like, Toby Keith? I'm like, yeah, Toby Keith. We should just say Toby Keith. And I'm like, Toby Keith. She was like, yeah. She was like, I got something better. Toby Keith. Which is African for effing Toby Keith. So when we saw each other outside of work, or if one of us were working and the other wasn't, that's all we had to do. Toby Keith. What up, girl? That's all you got to do. That's all we had to do was that. Nobody who heard us got it. Because, you know, two black girls laughing like mad women, basically, after we said that. And, like, you know, it was nice. I kind of didn't know they were recording a TV show around this time. So, well, I did. I just didn't go. But Neo was there singing. I was so mad at myself. I'm like, I didn't get to see Neo. Well, I was going home around that time because that was when I got my injury. But, yeah. So, I had to go home. It was horrible. So, Disney allows certain people into the park. I know I shouldn't tell anyone this because I don't want you guys to ransack the hotel, but all the celebrities stay at the Grand Floridian Hotel.
Sounds great.
So, you're around there, you see them, say what up. Just don't tell them I told you.
Nice.
And trust me, I knew Johnny Depp was on property, and he was at the Grand Floridian. Yeah, I would have got his autograph. Okay, but living on property is alright if you don't want to take your car and waste your gas. Living off property would be your best bet because it's inexpensive and, well, you don't have to worry about crap. You got to worry about Disney running up in there like they own the place. Oh, wait, they do own it.
Don't you know? The mouse owns everything.
Even though Disney has some illegal practices with the apartment housing situation.
And no one's ever tried to sue him for it?
No, because everyone's afraid of the mouse, dude.
That's true.
Basically, Disney's apartments are all sponsored by different sponsors. They were supposed to be free for CPs.
Guess what they're not.
Yeah, they're not. Coca-Cola sponsored Vista Way, so yeah. Other different places. It's like Disney make money off of us, whether we work there or not. Disney also don't give us discounts don't give us cast members food after we work for them. They throw away everything.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Even though it is a typical restaurant practice, it's like, after 10 minutes being out, you throw it away? It's like, that's wasteful.
That's putting it mildly.
And they charge us, like, we have this really huge, we got 3 cafeterias. They're pretty nice. They charge us money, an arm and a leg for some of the stuff. Mind you, if you work at Disney, pack your lunch.
Always pack a lunch.
And if if you visit Disney, pack a lunch. They will take every bit of your cash you have.
Yes, this is so true. I went down to Disney World for spring break, actually, with my school to play at one of their little parks. I think it was Lego. It was not the best experience of Florida I had.
And the only McDonald's they had on property, they took it out because people finally wised up and would go to McDonald's to eat instead of Disney.
Oh,
because it was cheaper. Shit.
Yeah. Disney wised up and took it out. It's gone.
Ugh, assholes.
Yeah. So, eat off property. The Florida Mall has the best food. They have a wide selection. It's cool. Some of the restaurants around there do. You got Buffalo Wild Wings, everything. Oh, CP's Buffalo Wild Wings karaoke night for the CPs. Free and discounted stuff. Yay. But basically, the good about living on the property, the buses, you don't gotta waste gas to go anywhere unless you really need to. The bad thing is they charge you too much. The other good thing, weekly parties.
Nice.
That are themed, and you get free stuff there. The Mary Poppins party, umbrellas.
Awesome.
Nice.
The Tinkerbell one, I can't remember. I didn't get a chance to go to that one because I was working that day and I was so mad.
Same.
Yeah, I know. But you get the appearance from the characters. I hung out with Mary Poppins and Bert and the whole Mary Poppins crew. I got to hang out with them. You know, they give us... Yeah. They did give us a lot of fun stuff. They honestly did. It was magical and wonderful. But Disney sucked. And the next part, I actually did say that. But, give us a minute. We're taking a break. Because, my voice is, about to die. But this is the big part. And we're back, everyone. After that long break. Back to Confessions of a Cast Member. So, we were going to continue with the worst place to work and the best place to work. The worst place to work on Disney property is Magic Kingdom, a.k.a. Tragic Kingdom. Long hours, not very much pay. You deal with screaming and howling kids all day.
Especially if you're stuck in a costume of a character.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that seems like, oh, but we get to be around the princesses and meet Mickey. Remember, folks, whip crack, ho-ho, work harder, ho-ho. Basically, yeah, you work harder in the Magic Kingdom than you do anywhere else. And you'll be cursing the mouse silently. And when you go into the castle to go to your job, it's a long way. You have to walk it.
Yee.
It's horrible.
Sounds
and everything
like
is separated. It's horrible, horrible, horrible. You have to walk it. It's a pain. Whereas Hollywood Studios, you don't gotta walk it. You get bikes. You get to ride bikes if you work far off. Or you go through the park before it opens. That's kind of cool, but yeah. Other than that, Magic Kingdom, the worst place to work. Best places to work is, if you're into animals, Animal Kingdom. It's not that bad. It isn't. My roommate tells me every now and then there's an occasional tiger attack. Occasional. And if you work any rides that are above the alligator pits, avoid that at all costs because they will eat you. But other than that, they close early. You get to meet a lot of interesting people. It's not that bad because not many people go to Animal Kingdom often. And, well, it's a giant zoo. So, no crazy Disney music. No, it doesn't stink. She told me it didn't stink, thank goodness. But, yeah, that's the only thing. That's good. Hollywood Studios, if you're into the movie thing, and the fact that it closes early, so you get off early, and they do pay you a little bit more, but That's because you deal with tour groups, cheerleaders, conventions, you know, the whole 9 yards. But that's the best place to work, too. And their costumes isn't cringe-worthy. Except for the Backlot Express, their uniforms are cringe-worthy. I worked there, cringe-worthy uniforms, and you had to be stuck in a hat all day. Not great for your hair. Hat hair. But Hollywood Studios, good. Animal Kingdom, good. Epcot's good, too. People from around the world, it's cool. But if you're from a different country, you automatically get placed in Epcot. There's no way to avoid that. If you're from a different country, that's where you are, Epcot. But it's cool. It's nice. It's not that bad. And some of the attractions are actually, you just stand around. That's all you do. You don't deal with crowds often. Like the ride Soaring. Cool flight attendant uniforms. Woo woo. Those were cool. The fact that it'd be so many people from different countries, you don't gotta run around trying to figure out what another person who's visiting Disney World from a different country is saying to you. You just grab your nearby cast member, check their name tag. If they speak the language, you ask them to handle it. Yeah, Epcot's good.
That's pretty cool.
Magic Kingdom is Tragic Kingdom. It's tragic. So steer clear away from Magic Kingdom if you apply at Disney. But I doubt after this podcast you guys will apply. Yeah.
Doubtful.
Basically, if you don't want to get a whip crack and getting told to work harder by Mickey. And your soul, it belongs to Disney. Once a cast member, it's always a cast member. They own your soul. Basically, if you drink anything on property, I think they drug it so you can't escape. Right, Vampy? Vampy! Where did she go?
Yes.
Oh, I was waiting for your Mickey joke.
Oh, wow. It disappeared. Sorry.
Oh, well.
I just completely zoned out.
Mickey owns your soul, basically. So.
And if you use Disney's name, they will sue you. Unless you have their permission, which would be hard to get.
I'm the mouse. I owned everything. And your soul. And your children.
And your children's souls.
Mickey owns your soul, basically. You become a cast member, you might as well be signing your name away in blood.
Pretty much.
And maybe that's why Mickey doesn't high-five you, because he may have a prick in his hand. You high-five him, he'd be like, sign this, please. You ask for a pen, he'd be like, no, your blood. So, don't high-five Mickey. He'll steal your soul. Don't become a lost child, because you'll end up in the It's a Small World ride.
And for future reference, if you are interested in becoming a cast member for the Disney company in some sort of a costume, then be prepared to deal with a lot of annoying kids. And also, they will be very picky about appearance. They pretty much want lookalikes.
Well, 9% of the time they do, but some of the time they don't.
Occasionally.
Like, if you're inside the full character costumes, you have to be a specific height. There are little Asian girls inside the Mickey and Minnie costumes.
Oh, I see.
Because of their height.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, for a character like a princess, they obviously want someone kind of petite. Like Snow White's only 14. And for Tinkerbell, she's a fairy.
Well, it depends on... Well, Disney also has a height requirement for the princesses. It's 4 foot nothing to 5'11".
Pretty much.
So, if you want to be a princess, go for it. You just got to be really thin enough to fit into the costume. But other than that, it's okay. The full character costumes, male, female, you can be anything, any character, as long as you meet the height requirement. And you can't be a stormtrooper, ladies. They don't allow that.
Bummer.
You can't be a female stormtrooper or Darth Vader or Darth Maul. Because you're a chick. That's one of the rules. And best bet, certain attractions, like the Great Movie Ride, you can get away with dressing up as a mafia member, as a gangster. That's kind of cool. As a character from Wizard of Oz. I don't know how Disney got a hold of them, but as anything else for those rides, you're cool. Toy Story, Green Army Man, male or female, male and female. You can be a male and be a Green Army Man. You can be a female and be a Green Army Man. You can be female and be a pirate, basically. Other than that, Disney owns your soul, and the costuming, it'll take over you. It'll take you over everything. So Disney bad. Disney's company's bad, but that's Disney World. Disneyland, they actually have more freedom. They have more freedom than Disney World. They actually are able to get away with a lot more. Well, yeah. And you're pretty much well known because it's local people visiting Disneyland. So you're good. You are good if you work at Disneyland. Disney World, giant conglomerate, communist, miniature city, run by a mouse.
Scary!
Who spends all of his money on cheese and wine cheeses, basically. He owns your soul. It's Mickey. So, Mickey bad, Disney good. Well, no, Mickey bad, Disneyland good. Yeah. So, that's my confession of a cast member. Take it or leave it, people. If you still want to apply for Disney, good on you. But you shall know the truth. You have the tools, the power to know. So take that and use it when you apply. Oh, and don't botch up the phone interviews because it sucks machi balls when you do. Because, they reject you on the spot if you don't answer Disney. If you don't answer in a Disney way. Oh my God, I should cover that, shouldn't I, Vampy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I forgot this. It should have been in the first part.
I'll cover Disney Store a little bit, too.
Mm-hmm. What was the first part you were going to talk about, Pi?
Well, the Disney interview process. When you apply, they give you the phone interview.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, that's your whole interview right there. You have to answer in a Disney way.
Disney way?
You can't. Yeah, there's a Disney way for everything. Like, okay, they ask you, okay, what is your let's see, what are your goals for when you come and work for the Disney company? You could probably say, oh, well, I want free stuff. I want to pay. I'm a huge Disney fan. Well, not a huge Disney fan, but I've seen a couple of movies. Instant rejection. They hang up on you.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's messed up.
The proper answer is, well, I believe the magical world of Disney is beautiful, and I have been a fan since I was a child, and I wanted to make a lot of people's dreams come true. There you go.
Next
question. The next question on the interview, and this one got me, because I got rejected once, and then I wised up. I'm like, okay, a castmate. Okay, it's you're handling the taking care of a character, and they have to leave suddenly. What do you say? You could say, he's not coming back. The character's like, let's see, for example, Goofy. Goofy has to leave now. He won't be back out for such and such time. Instant hang up. You get hung up on. Yeah. Proper Disney answer is, Goofy has to go and take care of his airplane, and he'll be back soon. Ding, ding, ding. Disney worthy.
Really?
Would they allow you to mention Kingdom Hearts and say, like,
no,
not allowed? That's silly.
Well, that's
No.
because, it makes sense, though. Not everyone has played Kingdom Hearts, and there are children. What are you going to tell them? He's gone back to Kingdom Hearts? Little kids.
No, what I meant was, you could say he's gone off on an adventure with some of his friends.
Yeah, but Goofy isn't really known to going on actual adventures, per se.
Yeah,
He's
that's
more
true.
known about...
I probably would have gotten rejected for saying that.
And another... Oh, yay! Miss Who is here. Yay!
Hey, Miss Who.
Hooray!
Hi.
Hi, Miss Who.
Hi, how are you guys?
Miss Who has appeared. She fixed her TARDIS.
Yay! It was acting up a bit, so I had to fix it.
Yeah. So Miss Who is here, and she's here for the Disney Explosion, basically Confessions of Cast Members.
Yes.
Nice.
Welcome to the mouse, where your soul is owned by the mouse, for the mouse, and only the mouse.
And your children's souls.
Ho-ho! Work harder! Ho-ho! Yep.
I'll
So,
tell you,
and
though,
the
the
worst
interview
thing-
process for the Disney store was a little different. Not much, but a little.
Mm-hmm.
For one, they didn't
Really?
do it. Yeah, they didn't do it over the phone. For one, I just got a phone call saying to come in, and so I went to the interview, and it was a group interview, so I was a little nervous about that. Anyway, they did ask questions, not as Disney-esque as yours, but they did ask, "Who's your favorite character?" And so I explained, and he said, "By the way, we don't allow you to put princesses on your name tags. We'll allow you to put any other favorite character, though." I was thinking, but what if your favorite character is a princess?
Tip here. Here's the tip. You say Mickey, no matter what. Any question, just say Mickey Mouse. That's all you got.
Yeah. Well, I just answered
He's watching
Nala
you
from The
then.
Lion King, because I love The Lion
But the worst thing about Disney is you get separated from the ones you love. Isn't that right, Miss Who? I missed you so much. And she's actually shy, so.
Please
So,
don't tease me.
But yeah, separated from the ones you love. Your work hours and you can't talk to them via Skype very long. And it was just horrible being separated from my friends too. But yeah. Basically Disney's just a ball of the fact that Mickey owns your soul until you die. Even then, you just hear him laughing.
Yeah, and if you want to see a guy's perspective on it, there's a series on YouTube called Confessions of a Disney Employee, and he goes into his details about how he was a guy employed at Disney World and how he had to deal with a bunch of crap.
I think regardless of gender, you're just gonna be fucked.
Well, yeah, but still. You get
Don't
girl's
believe the
perspective
lies.
from us, guy's perspective from him, and a bunch of silly cartoons.
Basically, Disney, when you're there, it's not all magical. You get fooled by the castle, yes. And you have the Disney hypnotism, which the guy who did the Confessions of a Disney Employee actually mentioned. It actually is true. You go to clock out and you realize you're a human being. You don't work for a giant 4 foot nothing mouse.
Pretty much.
I mean, it is Disney.
Oh,
What did you
and
guys
another
expect?
thing?
It's medieval.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, if you are a, let's say, person interested in the fine arts and you want to audition for one of their shows, they are even pickier than actual Broadway shows. They will want you to look as much like the characters as possible.
Not
So
always.
Not always, but still, it'll be even harder unless it's like a really easy to get into local production. I had a friend who tried out for Lion King in London, and she didn't get in because the audition was just really, really weird. Then again, it was official Disney, so that's probably why. If it had been a local theater group, she probably would have gotten in, no problem.
It depends. But then again, Disney's weird when they cast people as certain characters. Like, for the Disney princesses that wander around the grounds.
Pretty much.
Well, they stay in one place now.
They don't actually, from what I've seen someone say, they didn't actually take too much care for that. It's not like you're going to see in many Native American Pocahontases. They're actually played mostly by white actresses. Same thing
with spray tan.
Yeah, and that's even worse. It's terrible looking. Same thing with the Jasmines and the Aladdins. Any POC character except for Mulan and only Din, maybe.
And Tiana.
Yeah, and Tiana. Tiana's too noticeable. You can't pull that shit off.
Yeah, they would get a lot of bad comments if they tried to pull
bad
off
comments,
somebody.
Please. They would get sued straight up. There's
Pretty
no
much.
Shit.
And that's why they don't. It's because makeup like that, trying to pass yourself off as another race is considered rude. They did that with Miss Saigon on Broadway.
Yeah.
And they got chewed up like crazy because they did the actors' makeup to make them look more Asian. And it was accidental, but they still got in big trouble for it.
There's nothing
So naturally Disney wants to avoid
thing.
that.
Again, there's nothing accidental when you do that type of thing. When you try to make somebody look like another ethnicity that they're not, that's not accidental. That's on purpose and intentional. And they deserve to get the shit talked about them. And fired.
Well, what I mean is that they didn't think before they acted. They didn't think, oh...
I don't think it matters, because no matter what generational gap you may have or whatever, it's still never great to do that. And a lot of people seem to learn this year as they lose their jobs over these things.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
yeah.
Disney has done outsourcing, too.
Of course Disney outsourced. It's
every
business.
big company outsources.
I was actually going to make a little joke. You know Handy Manny, right?
Yeah.
Bob the Builder's job got outsourced by Disney.
Ooh.
Well. Oh, there's a cat.
Yeah. So, basically, Disney is bad. Very evil.
Yeah, regardless of where you work for, you're gonna run into some kind of evil.
Mm-hmm.
And the cast members have pretty much been brainwashed to say what they've been told to say. So if you're going to visit...
You're right.
No, I mean, if you're going to visit the princess meet and greet, if you're going to visit, like, let's say, Elsa and Anna, and Elsa's not there, and somebody asks, where's Elsa? And the person responds, she's gone off to her ice castle. That's what they're supposed to say, basically.
Mm-hmm. Forgot about
As stupid as it sounds, that's what they are told to say.
Oh, yeah. And this rule, like, if they ask how many Mickeys are in the park, you're supposed to say there's only one Mickey.
Instead of 5
and
million.
there are 2 chips. Yeah. And there are 2 chips. The teacup and the chipmunk.
Yep.
1 Goofy, 1 Aladdin, the whole shebang. You're supposed to say there's only one of them, not to shatter the dreams. I can understand that, but yeah.
Especially when they're little
kids. I kind of feel bad lying, but yeah.
But then again, when it's little kids, it's kind of like we're lying any damn way, so might as well.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, Santa Claus is totally real, except he's actually based off of not white saints called St. Nicholas. But okay.
Well, of course not. He's based off a dude from Alaska that didn't believe in the spirit of Christmas, and so Santa's daughter came and took him to the North Pole, and he became Santa.
What the fuck were you watching?
Oh, Miss Who should know this.
Actually, that is a story that Miss Pie and I are doing.
Were you guys high?
No,
I think we were high.
It's a very, very good story, actually. Yeah.
High as fuck.
No, we just thought it would be cute.
We just wanted to holiday stories, so that's what we came up with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still saying you were high as fuck, but okay.
Don't do
Oh,
stuff
please.
like that. Never
But
will.
no, historical wise, that's a whole different podcast. Historical.
Yeah, we can do that later, but I like ours better. It's funnier. Anyway, Disney recommendations. All of the princess movies, because they're good.
Yeah.
Except for Beauty and the Beast Christmas special, they suck.
Yeah, don't bother with most of the sequels unless it's like Cinderella 3 and all the Lion Kings. All the Lion Kings. Lion King and a half, Lion first one, and the third one. Don't bother with...
And Alice in
Yeah, but don't bother with The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2.
Mm-mm.
Don't... Generally, just stick with the first ones. The first ones are usually good, except for Cinderella, which was kind of surprising.
Brother Bear 2 is decent, but then again, the first movie, it wasn't that... It wasn't as good as it could have been. So, the second movie, not so sure.
Go ahead, Miss Who? Yeah?
I'm gonna have to argue your point, Koto, because the second Little Mermaid movie was actually very good.
Yeah.
The second what movie?
The second
Little Mermaid?
Yeah, it was
Mermaid.
well done.
Well,
Yeah, the only thing I disliked about
okay about that one.
Go ahead.
I mean, I remember watching it, and I do think it was kind of good considering on what it was about. It was more about Ariel's daughter and how Ariel actually turned into her own father, so now she understands how her father acts. That was actually kind of funny.
Oh.
Shit.
And all the Tinkerbell movies are the best, especially the newest one that has a Loki. Well, it's Tom Hiddleston, but he's still Loki.
Oh, Lord, don't. Save yourself, listeners. Save yourself.
Loki's hot. I'm
I don't
sorry.
give a shit. Loki's got fucked by a horse.
Wait, what?
Don't you know your mythology at any point in time? In Norse mythology, Loki turned himself into a pretty little filly and got fucked by a horse and gave birth to his dad's. Well, the horse that his dad.
That is just creepy.
Well, come on. Don't you know what his kids look like? Hell is half.
I'm just
Hell
saying
has
it's
her-
creepy.
Let me finish. He has a son that's a giant wolf. He has a giant snake as another son. He has a half-dead daughter, and he has a horse as another son that his dad uses to ride around.
Oh.
Norse mythology 101. You gotta love it.
Okay, we're not talking about that Loki. We're talking about Tom Hiddleston's Loki. He's hotter.
Still the same
And
Loki.
not messed up.
Still messed
Can't
up.
argue there. Loki is kind of hot.
I don't really care. Because I have not actually fallen for the mass hypnosis of, oh, but we love British guys.
I just think he's hot. It's Loki.
I don't give a shit. He looks kind of like a crackhead to me, but okay.
Blasphemy!
Okay. Let's get off this subject before it
I'm sorry,
explodes. Okay.
Quiet.
So, Disney movies are awesome. So, those are our Disney recommendations. We kind of strayed off into Loki territory. We'll cover that next
considering
time.
that Marvel is technically part of Disney, we didn't stray off topic at all.
Wait. What?
Oh, that's right.
What?
Yeah, Marvel is part of Disney. Disney bought
Yep,
Marvel.
it is.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah, they also bought Star Wars, so it's
Yeah,
kind of...
I know.
So we didn't stray off topic. We're technically on topic.
Okay. So, next week's podcast, episode 7, is going to be, let me check the schedule, is going to be, well, back to our regular show format. This is actually the very, almost last explosion that we do this year. Well, not this year, this month, because we have we have one more coming up. So, episode 7 will feature, it'll be about DeviantArt. It'll have Shipping Wars is making its return. Anime endings that tick people off. Tea Time recommendations. How to join the Tea Time, and the next podcast announcement, which will be called Beautiful Overture. We'll tell you more about that next week. For now, we gotta go. We got flamethrowers. We gotta go torch Mickey's house now.
Yay!
For the torture he
And
put
I
us
look
through.
forward to the next podcast. Hooray! I will happily listen even if I'm not part of it.
So, the next podcast, we're set. We out. So, thanks for listening to Disney Explosion. We'll see you next week. Same time,